Hey, hey, hey.
Hey.
Hey everybody.
Hey everyone.
Hey, we're the what's going
Detecting
on?
Nation.
Gonna be an interesting show. Welcome everybody. Welcome to Metal Detecting Nation. This is our show and tell episode. If you're unfamiliar with Metal Detecting Nation, and or if this is the first time you've seen us, we are just a simple, regular person community, metal detectors that like talking about our hobby. We don't know everything. In fact, like I say, we don't know a lot. We just know that we like talking about it. So, welcome to our show. This is the opportunity that if you would like to be on our stream live, you need to email me at metaldetecting@gmail.com. I will send you a link and you can be a part of our show. We will be live here for 1 hour. In that hour, we're going to share some things that we found recently and in the past. We're going to talk about some topics tonight that might be that might make real good conversation. And if you have any comments or suggestions for questions that we could talk about, put it in the chat. So, Dave, how you doing?
Good. How are you, Jordy?
I'm hanging in there, man. It's been one of those days. Dave and I, you got out, right? We got out.
Mm-hmm.
It was nice. If you happen to have watched our video, we got frozen out the first day. It was so disappointing. It was that little kid in the candy shop feeling that we were finally like getting to go out. We were so excited. We get there, we walk out onto the football field, and we're sitting there jabbing our shovels, and we're like, oh no, what are we gonna do? So we ended up, Dave and I ended up going to that other field, and I just sat in my car. And Dave walked out and said, "Nope, it's frozen."
Antarctica.
Yeah, but then the next day we ended up being able to get out and made a video, and honestly just had some fun. I'm still sore from that kneeling on the frozen ground. I don't know if that's ever happened to anybody, but my knees are sore. So, we'll go. Joel, how you doing, buddy?
Hey man, how are you?
I'm hanging in there. What's new this week?
Nothing, man. Just working and trying to find a place to dig this weekend, and hopefully the snow and the ice doesn't keep us out of the ground.
Yeah, no, I hear you for sure, for sure. Audra and Rachel, how are you this week?
We're doing good. We're doing good. We
That's
had
awesome.
no snow. We had sunshine, 60 degrees, and flowers are blooming.
I happened to notice that you did a really cool collaboration video with someone this past.
Yes, and that someone is here in the chat.
Yes, she is, and we'd love her to come out live with us, but we understand.
Yeah, Scuba Sonia was awesome to join us, and we were out there. How long were we out there?
About 7 hours.
7 hours, and she
Wow.
was strong to the end. If the sun wasn't setting, we'd probably still be out there. But it was a
And
lot.
Nancy, how are you doing?
I'm doing fabulous. Thank you very much.
You happen to get out this week?
I did. I had a fabulous time on Saturday. I met up with 7 other channels and we had a nice big collab, and the weather was perfect. It was great to finally actually meet some of them in person. I got to meet Mallyman Mike and If He Signals Mike in person. Those are the 2 that I didn't know before. And it was a great time. Lots of laughs, lots of digging. They found some amazing stuff and I didn't.
You just didn't walk over it, they say, right?
That's what it was. I was leading them to it.
That's exactly right. And we are joined tonight by Darcy. Darcy is a little bit north of us. How are you doing, Darcy?
Oh, pretty good, Jordy. How are you?
Hanging in there, just hanging in there, hoping for a lot of snow tonight for some reasons
Nice.
that we could talk about on another day. But so if you don't know Darcy's channel, go ahead and tell everybody about your channel, Darcy.
It's Cup Valley Diggers. Pretty much started detecting videos probably around June or so. I'd been recording them since the spring and doing some hunts then, but just never got around to getting anything up there. do a bit of do some bottle digging, some privy digging, creek hunting, little bit of everything. So one of my other hobbies is insulators too. So in the future, hopefully, probably get a few videos out of that too as well. Actually, there was our insulator show that we host up here, that I host it up here every year. I did post a video of that on there as well. So
That's awesome. Well, welcome. You know, you're the lone wolf here.
well, thanks for having me on.
This is for everybody in the chat and everybody on our after party who wants to be a part of our program, a part of our stream. This is a community, like we've all talked about. We're not trying to eliminate anyone. We welcome everyone to share what they know, to help me, to give me tips and everyone else, and just kind of to share the finds and just have a good time chit-chatting, you know, and that's what this is all about. So I'm hoping, as I see Ambient Girl she is working the chat right now, begging for some people to come on. And I keep, like I said, looking at my email. Oh, I do have one. Nope, that's just telling me that I'm live. So
Are you sure?
we'll delete that one. So, well, let's, we might as well go ahead and start a little show and tell. I will be more than happy to give up my place here in line and let you guys go ahead and share, because I know that we talked in our pre-show about some stuff that you guys have. Would love to see it, love to share it. Who's up?
We'll go.
All right.
You ready?
Yes.
So we went out.
Look at that.
Great
Love
picture.
it.
And Scuba Sonia joined us, and she should join us on this live stream right now, just saying.
I didn't say it.
But
What a great photo. Look at the smiles on those faces.
Mhm.
Awesome.
Mhm.
That's what it's all about.
that was after, you know, when after 7 hours, we're still smiling, you know, it's a good day.
Yes.
right.
definitely.
So, yeah, I don't want to just hit the next picture, so never know.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome.
Awesome time.
That's what, like I said, that's what it's all about. You guys had some nice weather too, right? I mean, it was beautiful that day.
Oh, it was beautiful. The flowers were blooming. We got pictures of that, and it was like almost 60 degrees, sunny, just beautiful.
Yeah, it was a pretty day.
And what did you guys, anything of notable interest that you guys found?
Sonia got this awesome spoon and a few horseshoes. And Rachel got this amazing thimble, right?
Yeah. And Audra got a dandy.
I got a nice dandy
And
and an Indian.
Yep.
and
I
Nice.
was just setting you guys up. I watched the video. I
I figured since you commented.
Anything else to share, ladies?
I will let the next person go and see.
Nancy,
Share.
Yes.
okay.
I'm seeing if I can do this right. I'm trying.
It'll be fine.
'Cause who knows what's going to pop up on my screen.
Oops.
We have a 20-second delay, so that is great.
All right. This is some of us at the group. I don't know if it's popped up yet for you to see, everyone to see.
Yes.
So here is Wildman Ricky, Stan,
Uh-huh.
Amonish the Meadow, and Mike, Manly Man Mike, and myself. This is when we're getting ready to leave. Unfortunately, everybody else was still in the woods. They hunted until after dark, but all of us had to get back. So it was great that I got a picture. We need to learn to take photos when we first get there. It's kind of like, because you're so busy, once you go detecting, everybody splits up and you try to get everybody together at the end for photos. It was hard, but we got a couple of photos, single ones, but that was one of them I wanted to share from this weekend. It was a good time. That's about it. I mean, I do have a couple of the photos, but that's my key
Love it.
Awesome.
that I found. I did the latest video on. That's one of my favorite finds so far. One I haven't done a video yet for is my change purse.
Oh, yeah.
I found part of a
Cool.
change purse a few weeks back. So I have the video half made. I'm really learning. I'm struggling doing these videos. I'm getting there though. But yeah, that's a couple of my favorite little finds.
Very
Oh,
nice.
So
Thank
I have
you.
a question for you, Nancy. Did you find any coins in and or around that area where the your change purse snapped?
I did not find any coins. I found all the bits to the change purse. That's the top handle, and I have the other side to it also. There was no coins, but there was coins found that day, but I did not find any coins where that change purse was, which is kind of a bummer. I was hoping, I mean, I found a penny way off in the woods, but nothing with that. And I was really, really hoping when I realized what I had, I started like freaking out, and James from Messy Hole came running over. As soon as he heard me, he said, "James, coin purse." He came flying over to me. And he's like, I'm like, "Help me find some coins." But we couldn't find it. We looked, we really did.
Well, thanks
I
for
go back.
sharing. That's cool. Very
We
cool.
did go
How
back.
about you? How about you, Jolie?
Well, I went out with Don from Detection Connection, and I went out with Metal Pirate Girl. I finally got to meet her, and Digging with Deej came out with us. And this is probably my best find. Y'all see it?
I
Yes.
love this.
Yeah, it's a
That's beautiful.
some kind of
That was
suspender
cool.
clip, maybe. I don't know. I kind of like it. It has the frogs or toads. I don't know what they are underneath the.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I mean, Don found one that I don't know. His had maybe a butterfly or some kind of flower on it, but yeah, I found that, and I didn't take a picture of it, but silver plated pencil, and we think it might be like a sash buckle, some sort.
That was really nice.
Yeah, so it was a
That's
fun
nice
time.
picture.
We had a great time out there, and unfortunately, the second field we went to, the field was frozen. So it is what it is. It's Ohio and it's winter, so
You got some beautiful details on all the items that all of you found. I mean, I don't know if it was more of like a wealthier farm,
Well-
but everything, the suspender clips and everything had really detailed, like the frogs. the
yeah.
first
Don
frog.
did some research before we went to, and he said he can correct me in the chat if he wants, but I think they had 13 kids.
Oh, wow.
The people
Wow.
that live there, so that's why I think we found a lot of buttons, suspender clips, and a lot of different fancy stuff. I found an Indian. I found an Indian head, an IPH or IHP, and Don found two Indians and a large cent. And Metal Pirate Girl found her first V-nickel. So victory was hers, and I was real excited.
And she marked it too.
And she
Yeah.
kissed it. She gave it a good old kiss. But hey, that's
That's nice though. It's a story to tell. Oh,
I don't think she really knew like it was a coin that she was digging, so she was kind of hanging out in the what I call the trash pile. She likes the rusty relics, so I don't think she really knew it was a coin. So she probably wasn't being so nice with her, digging her plug. So, but it was still an awesome day.
That's
good to
great.
hear.
Cool.
All right, Darcy, you're on the spot here.
All right.
First, I'll let you share some of the things that you found. And if you're not familiar, Darcy lives in Canada. I believe
It's just north of. I'm in the city of Kingston, but it's actually the former Kingston Township that's now part of the city. But I'm essentially in a rural area to the north. Yeah, so it's a very old area that I live in. It goes back to I think the township that I live in was the very first township surveyed in, I guess what you'd call English Canada outside of the Maritimes. So 1783, 84. And then first settlement, I think the one property down the road here, from what I can surmise, is settled in 1787. So it's some of the early loyalist area, which is quite neat.
That's great land and great location for you to.
Some real old history here. So yeah,
Now, what's the weather like up there right now?
it's snowing.
Yeah.
We're probably gonna have a foot of snow by the morning. Gonna be shoveling lots tomorrow.
Yuck.
Yeah.
Keep it north of the border, please.
Don't share that.
So, do you like detecting in the woods? Do you like relic hunting? Do you like coin hunting? A little bit of the questions, that we would ask everyone else.
The woods are great. I just can't find enough of them around here. The guys in Toronto, Toronto is sort of known as the ravine city. There's rivers and ravines everywhere, and a lot of these ravines have been heavily traveled and used going back 150 years. So there's some amazing stuff down there. Whenever I get down to Toronto, I do work down there, and if I have time, I'll always scout out a spot, plan it out ahead, and do some hunting down there. So hoping to collab with some guys this spring, and it'll be really cool. There's been one spot particularly that I probably spent 2/3. Well, I'd say I keep accurate records of all the finds and the hours I spend and where I hunt. So I figured it was about over 100 hours I spent there last year. But there's a spot, it's a lake park just north of me, about 10 minutes away, and it has some pretty old history. I'll just show you a picture. Share a thing here. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, there it is.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Is it showing up?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. So this is the lake park where I hunt. Just so happens this fellow he's also famous for, he was a clerk on the building of the Rideau Canal in the 1830s. And this was he did over 100 or so watercolors during the construction of the Rideau Canal, mostly just for his own personal stuff, because they weren't actual part of his work. But this one was in his retirement years later in 1861. And I guess this land was owned by the brewer and distiller in town. And it looks like he threw some pretty big bashes there at that place. So he painted this scene, and this is what got me excited about hunting this spot so much, because you can see the dress of the people and just so much going on here.
I think this is outstanding. Now, when you metal detect this area, can you stand? Is it anything like what you see here?
It's somewhat similar. In 1870, another mill owner, there's a creek that drains out of this lake, and normally it had been a mill site since the 1830s. There's a drop, but then in the 1870s they upgraded the mill and installed a dam to raise the water level. So the water level is about 5 feet higher than what is shown in this painting. Probably around where those people are sitting on the log, there's a brooch. That brooch I think I showed earlier, I'll show it again, was found like deep in the roots under a cedar tree up in that area. So I was looking wherever this activity was going on intently. Unfortunately, the site is very heavily disturbed. There's been buildings built and areas filled and all sorts of stuff like that. So I know there's got to be a lot of good stuff hidden buried underneath all this this building stuff. But I'll bring up the other one here if I can find it. So I just go stop share on that one.
Yeah, go to stop share, and then we'll all
And then,
come back. And then you
Okay.
can go ahead and share again. And I
I
agree
love
with,
that history.
yeah, I was just going to say the exact same thing.
Oh.
That is so cool because that legitimizes where you're metal detecting, and what you're finding is this brooch probably left over from those people, literally.
It is really cool. And I have a few other photographs of the area. Just, I don't know, I guess it was such a well-used spot that people took pictures way back when. And I have a video from a while back on my channel that actually shows, I have that painting that you saw. It'll show the painting, and then it fades into that same shot now. So it says 150 some years later, and then it shows what it looks like now, that view, as best I could capture it. So it's neat, kind of what it looks like then, what it looks like now.
Yeah.
I'll bring up that brooch now. Let's see here.
That is just gorgeous.
Yeah,
I
I'm
love
not
that.
sure what it's made of. It almost looks like, I don't think it's silver. It could be silver plate though. From what I've been told, it's probably 1800s.
Absolutely beautiful though. Look at the stones
Yeah.
in it.
It's got these stones. It's, I guess these are probably like white glass beads in them. It's not particularly, I guess, valuable or anything like that, but it's just a really cool. I didn't show the back, but it has two little holes where I guess there would be a metal pin to pin it to yourself. And if it was steel, it long rusted away.
That's great.
But it's been a particularly I'd been hunting this spot for about a year. I had the AT Pro. It's also been a public park since 1947, so this place has thick trash in it. So it's been a real challenging sort of place to hunt. It's only 10 minutes from my house, so it's essentially my go-to place to go hunt, just because the potential is there. I'll bring up another picture. This was something I just discovered this past fall. I did one hunt, and I realized something really interesting. They had done a bunch of work on the shoreline here, and they essentially dug up the shoreline, sloped it, and then put in large limestone rocks. But in doing that fill they pulled out of there, they used around the park. And in particular, there was a walkway. They sort of elevated it a little bit, put a paved walkway on. And I think the first thing I found up there was on the one was, let's see. Yeah, I'll bring it
Now,
up.
are you finding these items deep, Darcy, or you actually find them more closer to the top?
That brooch was under a root of a cedar tree.
Oh, okay.
And that cedar tree had probably had its beginnings probably in the 30s or 40s. I found from the town there was an old hotel, actually called the American Hotel. And on the third floor, they had taken a picture looking out towards that point. And you could see that there were small cedar trees, the ones that are now large there.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
And I was wondering, well, where did these cedar trees come? Because they had to come from a larger, older tree. And then I saw on the very point an old cedar tree, which is no longer there. And that must have been the parent of all this grove there of cedars that's there now.
I love that you can find the old photos to that too.
Yeah, it's quite
history.
fascinating. Just I love getting places where the photos are there and can really tie things together.
That helped.
The first big find, I think, that really made me say that I was onto something was this one. Where is it here? Did it come up?
I'm seeing part of it. Open it all the way. Whoop.
Oh,
Technical difficulty.
okay. Let me just. I got too many windows open here, I think.
Oh, look at
No,
that.
that's-
There it is.
There
Oh,
it
that's
is.
beautiful.
That's very cool.
So that's the I guess they're not overly rare or anything, but this is the Sir Isaac Brock token. He was the hero of the War of 1812 for the British. And I didn't pull up the other side, but it's the date on the other side is 1816.
Wow.
Is that one of your oldest
Nice.
coins, or do you have older
Yes.
ones?
This is actually the second oldest. The funny thing was, it was within 1 week where I made most of these discoveries. I had started hunting, and it was mostly at nighttime with the flashlight because my wife worked during the day and I only had the evenings to work with. So I went out pretty much every night for a whole week and just kept finding old stuff after old stuff because I had never really pulled out much before that stuff. And this was found right on the berm of that trail that they had, and I could tell by it that this was the fill they had dug up from the lake shore.
Okay.
That's cool.
Well, those are
I love it.
awesome finds. Thank you so much for sharing and
Yeah.
sharing that history. There's so much history that, you know, you think about us going and metal detecting in areas, and there's just so much history that I have no clue about. But it is the fact of being able to find something and then saying to yourself, like, who was the last person that held this? What was their life like? What were they wearing? What was the health and wellness that was going on in the area? I always think about health and wellness, but because that was such a huge issue in the 1800s, obviously in 1700s too. But I don't know. It's just, I always think of the people who are living and using these items, and that just, it fascinates me. It
It's
like
that
mind
personal
boggles.
connection. That's the part that I love. That personal connection when you find something.
If you haven't already, try a privy dig because that really, you really get a feel for how people lived when you dig a privy.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've never dug a privy, and I know several of you have on here already. So
I dug a privy and it turned out to be in the span of time. I think when the privy had the very top of the privy when it had been closed up was 1919 during the Spanish flu outbreak.
Oh, jeez.
And I found broken thermometers and lots of cold remedy type medicine stuff. And
Wow.
you know, so you don't know, were these people suffering? Did people die who lived here? You know, it's just, did they close this privy up because of that? Were they so afraid after this flu outbreak went out that they just said, oh, that's it, close this up?
Did you release
they-
the Spanish flu?
And they put an ash pit
Yeah, it's the
over top of it.
coronavirus.
That must be, I mean, to think of their mindset back then, as you said, they probably closed up the privy and what they layered it with.
An ash pit, which went into the 50s. There's also another, I have a privy dig series of videos on my YouTube channel. And one of the weird things that I actually dug up in the ash pit was a braid of hair, an actual, some child's hair braid was cut off and put in the ashes. And I pulled it out pretty much intact.
Oh, wow. I wonder why.
I'm thinking lice.
Maybe.
Oh, that's
Maybe,
a possibility.
They would just, oh, lice, let's just cut that thing off and throw it into the ashes, you know, because ashes were known as to be sterile, I guess, or hostile to any critters.
For
That is
superstitions.
Yeah, superstition they had too.
Yeah,
Yep.
it probably would have been in the 50s, I imagine, because I found at the bottom of the ash pit, I found a plastic toy. and this farm had been demolished in mid 1950s because they built the highway and they essentially cut it off.
No, I haven't done a privy yet. I would love to be honest with
Yeah.
you. I mean, I've heard some stories of other people about some of the finds that they found, which is amazing
Hmm.
because you find more, I think, whole items in them than you do like at a bottle dump.
Yeah, and there's more privies at the site. I have more to dig this year. That was, this was a 1910 to 1920 privy. There's got to be a lot more out there than that.
So we're going to change directions here. I did send out a link to someone who I hope joins us. If you're new to Metal Detecting Nation and you would like to be a part of the chat, I'm going to submit a link in the chat right now. If you want to do that, please don't join if you're just going to screw around, I guess you could say. But I do want to share with you where is it? Right here. I want to share with you our metal detecting. Whoa, that's everything, isn't it? I want to share with you. It's been one of those days, I guess, hasn't it?
Yes.
So I want to share with everybody the Metal Detecting Nation website. And if you want to see what's coming up next week, I'd be more than happy to show you. All you do is go to metaldetectingnation.com and click the stream calendar. If you click the stream calendar, you'll be able to see what we've done so far, including having Kurt on last week. Today's our show and tell. Tomorrow, next week, March 4th, Steph from the YouTube channel, Steph Diggs, is coming on. Matt from Gone Digging is coming on. Deej is coming on from Digging with Deej. And March 25th, Jason from the YouTube channel, Quarter Hoarder, will be with us. A couple things about what's happening next. I wanted to kind of open it up for a little discussion. I want to share with you a question and then get your thoughts on what you think about this topic. So we can, you guys can all chime in however you want it. But I guess the first thing I'd like to ask you might be a little controversial, but I think it's totally what we need to talk about, and that is monetizing our actual YouTube channels. Does anybody have any issues with monetization of their YouTube channels? I know that I am not even close to monetization of YouTube. It takes, and Joel's got this down where he knows how many hours it takes and how long it takes to, but if Joel, why don't you go ahead and talk about that first. What does it take to monetize your channel?
Well, first you have to start out with 1,000 views. And secondly, you have to have 4,000 hours. I mean, and that is a ton. You don't realize that's 240,000 minutes. So that means 240,000 people have to watch 1 minute of your video. And that is ridiculous. Luckily, I was able to monetize my channel in December of last year. So I hit that mark, but I didn't hit, I had a couple videos that kind of went, I wouldn't say viral, but got a lot of views on it. So that's what pushed me over that. But with monetization, you have to do that every year. You have to hit 4,000 hours every year to continue to be a YouTube partner. It doesn't, once you hit 1,000 subs, that's it. But you have to hit that every year. And that's a hard thing to do. So.
Anybody else have any thoughts about monetization? I know that some people have a goal of monetization. They want to hit 1,000, subs, and they want to get their 4,000 hours, and they want to make money, right? I have never been into metal detecting to create a channel to make money, ever. I never will be. I don't want that. I love what I do for a living. This is a hobby for me. This is not work. So
It's funny. Somebody brought that up to me today while I was delivering mail, because she just recently subscribed to our channel, and she's a customer. But she was asking about, like, when channels become monetized or whatever, how do the channels make money and stuff. And I told her the different ways, and I said, like, if ever we become monetized, that half a penny we'll make over the year, we'll just go right back into Jersey.
I don't know. We
History.
might spend it all in one place, but
But I told her, like,
And
if
you're
we
not gonna
did,
I've said this before, you're not going to get rich off YouTube. I'm
No,
sorry,
no.
not going to happen.
Like
You know, because
8 billion subs.
That's
Because the
definitely
thing
not
is-
why we're into this.
yeah, I mean, the thing is, you know, some of these huge YouTubers that have millions of subs, they don't even make a ton off YouTube. What they make money off is the sponsorships. So if you're thinking that you're going to get rich off YouTube, get out of it. It's not going to happen. I monetized my channel because I was at that goal. I mean, why not do it when you get to that goal? But I have made nothing, absolutely nothing. $10 maybe. So, and you can't even take out the money out of your AdSense until you hit $100. So I'm sorry, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Right. And the other thing is, I had a goal of hitting 1,000 subscribers at some point, because there was one thing that you get with 1,000 subscribers that you don't get under, and that's
Right now.
the community tab. That's what I loved.
Fancy.
Actually, I wanted that community tab to use. Now I really don't even use it or need it, but definitely 100%. And obviously, the community of metal detecting, which is, in my opinion, way more important than what we find. It isn't about competing for finding things in any way. It's about building a community. And I put out on Instagram, I have an Instagram channel, and I actually did a video a couple days ago, and the video was, what are my goals? And my number one goal was meeting more people in the hobby, meeting all of you and meeting others that I actually, I want to detect with. So yeah, so my thoughts on monetization, I don't care about it. Anybody else?
We
I'm
don't
totally
care.
with you, Jordy.
Where were you too?
Yeah.
Same here.
Like I said, anything.
I'll never have the hours, so I don't have to ever worry about that. I might get close to 1,000 subs, but I'll never have the hours, so I'm good with that.
I'll do what I do, and if it gets me there, then hey, it does. But yeah, I'm not striving for it. Just make videos, have fun, share.
Sonia nailed it right there. She loves this community so freaking much. And that's what it's about. It's this
That was-
community that we have all built, all of us, with some that only have 20 people, some that have 2,000 or more. I mean, this community has all come together. It doesn't matter. We just support each other, and that's what it's all about.
That's
Sonia
the
nailed it.
treasure. That's the treasure.
That's right. The true
Community,
treasure.
community.
Freaking
Absolutely.
You got to wonder if other communities are as tight as metal detecting communities or treasure seeking communities.
That's a good point, Rachel. I wonder if it is. Because this community, I mean, from the moment that I started, I mean, they embraced me and I embraced them right back. It's a very close bond that you
Because you
share with
rock,
these people.
Nancy.
Ah, thank you.
Nancy does rock.
Thank you.
So before we go on to our next question or subject matter, I want to welcome Tim to the stream. Tim
Tim.
is, I consider Tim a friend. I've known Tim for a rather long time. I met Tim a long time ago in a memorial hunt in Newark, Ohio. And Tim has way more experience metal detecting than I ever will. But welcome, Tim. Glad you're here.
Hi, Tim.
Hey, everybody.
So Tim has something that I don't believe any of us on the channel have done here, and that is he has traveled overseas and metal detect. Do you want to maybe share that experience for the people in the chat and the stream?
Sure. Well, it goes back about, I don't know, probably 3 years ago. Friend of mine from the forums, Firefighter 43. He's metal detecting Wisconsin on YouTube. He puts out videos. Check out his channel. He was about ready to retire, and he told me that his dream was to go to England and metal detect. I was like, wow, that's pretty hardcore. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, you're going to fly around the planet to go metal detect. And I was like, you can metal detect here. And he's like, yeah, but the stuff over there is just so much older. I was like, oh, I get that. He goes, I'm going to do that as my retirement gift to myself. I was like, well, that's cool. He goes, but I don't want to go by myself. I go, okay. He goes, but I want you to go with me. I was like, me? Why? He goes, because I know you'll go out all day from sun up to sundown and no complaining. And I was like, yeah, that's my style. I said, but I can't see myself doing it. He goes, well, you got a couple years to think about it. So fast forward a couple of years, I get an email from him, or actually a text, and he's like, I retired today. I was like, hey, congratulations, back and forth. And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, oh my God, I hope he forgot about that England thing. So, excuse me. So the very next text was, are you ready to start planning the trip to England? And I was like, I don't even know where to start. So he basically said, I'll take care of it. So he booked the trip, and I really was kind of, I don't even know how to explain it, nervous, I guess. Never did anything like that, learn about the country just to go metal detecting. So, and then, like we talked about before, traveling with equipment and shovels and electronics and special batteries, where stuff has to be packed for inspections and all that stuff. So a lot of research went into that, and then having to have your luggage can only weigh so much. So it was kind of a learning experience, to say the least. But I had a time of my life, and the time when we went, I found a Celtic gold coin while I was there. But that was on day
Amazing.
7. Thanks. That was day 7 of a 10-day hunt, but before day 7, I was already hooked. I found some hammered silver coins, found some hammered copper coins. I found some medieval clothing fasteners, found some pretty cool stuff. And just the camaraderie of being in that barn with 7 other like-minded people, that right there hooked me. I was like, this is just something special. I'm like, everyone here may have a different maybe political view or religious view or whatever, but in that room, everybody had something in common, and that was metal detecting. And they loved it. And they got on a plane and flew halfway around the planet to go do it. And they wouldn't do that if they didn't love the hobby. So I knew that regardless of whatever views there was, you could always have a conversation with someone in the barn about metal detecting. And it was just, the camaraderie was addicting. So that's like on day 5, I talked to the gal, Minnesota Mindy is her name. I said, just whenever your next opening is, I said, sign me up. So I signed up another trip with her, and in between that one, I got on another barn trip with Chicago Ron. So I've been there 3 times. So that's pretty much it. I also have a trip booked for this October. I'll be going back in October for round 4.
So
There is a question for you, Tim.
That's awesome, though.
Kate Digging It is wondering, did you get your found items sent back to you already?
I do have, okay, so I've been there 3 times. One was in the spring of 18, one was in the fall of 18, and one was in the fall of 19. I have all my finds back from the spring of 18, except for my Celtic gold coin that I found. That coin has been disclaimed by the British Museum. I was just awaiting an export license. The export license has been approved. I could actually have the coin mailed to me right now if I'd like, but since I'm going back in October, I just told the club president, hang on to it. I'll just pick it up when I'm there in October. So,
I'd pick it up too.
Yeah, really. Don't trust the mail.
I don't trust Royal Mail.
so but other than that Celtic gold coin, I got everything back from my spring of 18 trip when I went back in the fall of 18. Okay. Everything that all the hammered silver coins, all the milled silver coins, silver artifacts, anything like that, and all the hammered copper coins, all the big pennies and half pennies and farthings and all that stuff. Got all that stuff back, all my lead, all medieval tokens and all that good stuff. I got all that stuff back.
Did they
So
clean
then-
it for you before they sent it?
Yeah, they don't touch anything. They basically just photograph it, log it, and if there's anything that's kind of stands out, they send that to the museum or photographs to the museum, and the museum, if they have interest in it, they'll ask them to bring it in. And the club that I signed up with, they're really good because they deal with the British Museum for you. He will actually take your, like my gold coin. He took my gold coin to the museum for me. He dropped it off with the fines liaisons officer, who was.
Yeah, that's what Jason from North Jersey Detector was wondering. Did they pay you for any of it?
No, nothing's. Now that Celtic gold coin, since they disclaimed it, the coin goes back to me. But by British law, that treasure, since I don't own the landowner is entitled to 50% of its value. So we would have to decide what the coin is worth. The club is already taking care of that with the landowners when they sign their lease and their agreement. When treasure is found, it's detailed in their agreement with the landowner and the club. Like a Celtic gold coin goes for so much money. You know, a quarter stater goes for so much. A full stater goes for so much. A mill gold goes for so much. And if there's something special, it's probably negotiated separately. But I got everything back other than the Celtic gold, but it's coming. On my second trip, I have all that stuff back also from when I went on my third trip. Only thing I didn't get to bring back this time from my second trip was the 3-ounce ancient gold ingot and the 11-gram ancient gold ring that I found.
That's some awesome. That's a great.
Wow.
That a lot of people watching this and have heard your story in the after party, hearing it now in chat. There's just a lot of jealous people right now.
Very much so.
Very much so. Very, very much so.
I kind of relate that to a friend of mine. He shot a long time ago. I used to be into deer hunting, and you know the big thing about deer hunting is everyone wants to get that big buck. And a buddy of mine shot a truly record book deer, and I was just so jealous of that thing. I was like, man. And he goes, Tim, he goes, that's a fantasy deer. He goes, that's just something that doesn't really happen. He goes, and it's just kind of hard to. You just gotta take it in stride. And it's for me, it really what I can see what he meant by that. It's you hit a grand slam, and it just doesn't seem real. It seems like a fantasy, and it's just, I don't know. It's special. But I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It's crazy.
No, that's great. Now I do have a question really quick for you because I do want to go to another question that everyone can start to talk about again. But does Firefighter go back with you?
We are going to plan one for 2021. Him and I are going to go back together. He's got 2 younger children that are in high school, and they're just kind of one's just got their driver's license, and he's got a lot going on with the family right now. It's kind of hard to get away. Whereas my boys one's already out of school, and I got one already to graduate.
I got it. Yeah, life happens, right? So, all right. So I have another question, if that's okay with everyone. I got another question for everyone. I'd love for everyone to chime in. So Tim used to make videos, right, Tim?
Yep.
You know that Nancy makes videos, Darcy makes videos, I make videos, Joel makes videos, and this question has come
We
up.
don't make videos.
No, we don't.
No, you make epic films.
Never.
So-
Never did one.
So I guess just to go around, because a lot of people have asked, and there are some people who watch this who want to start a YouTube channel just to document, which is what most of us do. So what's the equipment that you all use? All the different cameras out there, from the GoPros to the phones, which seem to be popular. What do you guys use? And anybody can chime in.
If we were to do a video, we might use a GoPro. And
Now-
sometimes we might use our cell phone.
Well, we would think to use our cell phone if we made a video.
If
Right.
our battery were to die on our GoPro, then we would use our cell phone because they're both very good.
So if you
I
were to,
do not have a GoPro. I use my phone. And I struggle to make videos, but I'm getting better.
Your videos are great, Nancy.
Thank you. That's because I just got Filmora. That's the software that I'm using. It makes it so much easier. I was just using the software that came up with my computer, and it was just making me frustrated to the point that it wasn't fun. I wasn't enjoying it. And Filmora is really easy. Somebody who doesn't even have a lot of experience, like myself, with it, can figure it out pretty quickly. So yes, more videos to come. I promise.
Well, or do you hit that right on the head? You said I used to make videos, and that right there is the reason why. It's because of the editing. That's kind of frustrating.
It's a lot of work. People don't realize it actually is. I mean, I take tons of footage. You should see my phone is loaded with photos and footage. I mean, I've got enough footage to probably make a zillion videos, but getting that into a little short film,
Under
I'm
20
still-
minutes is hard.
yeah, I'm still struggling. I don't want just 20 minutes of digging a hole. Even I want it to be enjoyable. I want you to see what I see and feel what I feel, because I love the woods. It's my happy place. It's my nature. So that's why I also include photos of things I see, because that's my piece. I love it. And I want to share it with you guys. But
I
it's just
actually
trying to
enjoy
make
it.
it into my story. It takes a little bit.
I enjoy
getting-
videos when there's more than just dig a hole, show a find, dig a hole. I actually
Yeah.
lose my attention on those. If all they're doing is digging a hole and showing something, digging a hole and showing something. I like a little bit in between to break it up.
Yeah, we like the pictures and,
Yeah.
There's so much in
It could
there.
be an hour long.
Some
I'll
bloopers.
watch it if it's not just dig a hole, show me something, dig a hole, show me something,
I mean, when I go out in the woods, I'm not out there for 30 minutes doing a hunt. When I go out in the woods, I'm out there 5 to 9 hours
Yeah.
in the woods. So it's like, I've got a lot of footage. It's just trying to put it in this little tiny clip. It's
Yeah,
taking me a little bit. So I understand, Tim. The editing is
it's a lot of
getting there.
How do
Joel,
you
what
Yeah.
about you?
how do you transfer from your phone just to your desktop then?
I don't even know if I'm doing it right. I'm using the Google Photos. I save everything to my Google Photos, and then I download it from there, and then I just pull everything into the Filmora, and then that's the part where I start editing and from there. And Filmora is pretty. I like it so far. I really like it.
Okay, I gotta say, because I have tons and tons of footage. Like I said, I got the YouTube channel, and I always been filming stuff and photographing and stuff. So I've got like a locker full of footage for probably the last 5 years. I have to throw a bunch of that stuff together someday, but I just gotta find a friendly software.
I got plenty of blooper videos too.
We love bloopers. We use the Movavi video editor. It's like Filmora. It's very easy to use, very user friendly, and it's pretty quick too. So that's another thing you got to look at, how
Yeah,
long
right.
it takes to upload and process and all that.
I edit all from my phone.
Do you?
Yeah.
Do you have an iPhone? You have an iPhone though,
Yeah,
right?
and I
That's
use
why.
an app called LumaFusion. It's a paid app, and it does just as well or better than on a computer, and it's a heck of a lot easier. So
I just realized.
I like a
something.
bigger screen when I edit.
no, yeah, it's just preference. That's what it is. Yeah.
So
I think the hardest part is like figuring out, sorry, Jody,
No,
is
you're
like I use a phone, I don't have a GoPro, so it's kind of awkward for me right now to hold the camera, dig, or tripod, all that, set it up. I don't want it to be a job. It's not a job. I'm just recording what I find because I like it, but I don't want to
I'm
make
the
it like
same way. I use an iPhone as well, and it can be tricky. I want to get a GoPro though, because I like to do water stuff. So this past summer I did a creek snorkeling, creek bottle hunt, then it would have been so amazing with a GoPro. But hopefully this year.
Well, I use an old fashioned little camera here. And
Have one of those. The
right now-
JVC.
right now, we're doing a little video. So you'll be on the beginning of the next Digging with Dinger 51 video. No, I'm just
You know, it's funny because when I went out digging with him, he pulled that thing out. I'm like, what the heck are you using?
yeah. So here's what I do. I actually
Grandpa.
take this. If you notice, I'll wear one of those, I don't know, those Molly clip things, and I'll just clip it right here and I walk with it. Sometimes I don't even take it out. I open it up, automatically does it, boom, starts filming, and I film from here. And it catches my voice very well. And it's really easy. Close it up, it automatically stops, and I drop it, the clip catches it, I'm done. So I don't have to mess around with like putting my phone in my pocket or in my my pouch, because the phone gets filthy dirty.
That's handy.
Yeah, so this is just kind of what I use, and then what I do is I just end up putting this in the back of my computer, and it automatically downloads all the video to my iMac, and I use iMovie.
Yeah, I used that for a while. I have a GoPro too, and I just think ever since I got my new phone, the quality on the phone is way better than the GoPro. So I'll use it just for maybe a live dig here and there, but other than that, my go-to is my phone.
Yeah, that's what I've heard about the GoPros. They don't zoom in well on things. I guess if I did get a GoPro, I'd probably use both. Use the GoPro for live digs, and then get the phone and go in for the zoom in shot.
Well, yeah, because I wear it I wear a chest mount, so
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna hopefully try to figure out how to attach it to my cuff, my arm cuff on my detector. So when I want to do a live dig or a live VDI reading, I can just turn it on and it's right there and point it at the screen, because I don't really use
Yeah,
it.
I've seen people do that. It looks really good.
Yeah.
So we are coming to a close, and I have a question for all of you. We can answer one more question and keep going, or we can go immediately to the after party. What would you all like to do? It's up to you guys. You're in
It's up
charge.
to us or them.
After party.
Ask the question.
Come to the after party and you'll
Question.
find some more questions and answers.
After party.
Sure.
Dave?
Question,
Let's get off live.
who are you people?
Okay.
We can go from
After
PG to
party.
PG-13.
Okay. So we're going to the after party. I will save this question.
Which question are you looking at? Who are you looking at?
Well, can you guys see
Oh, that question. Oh,
that
Yeah.
question? Yeah. So I'll save this question for another time. But first of all, thank you, Darcy, for coming on and being,
Oh, no problem. Thanks for having me.
appreciate it.
Great.
Tim, thank you so much for coming on and sharing that story. I wish we could show and share everything, pictures and images and all that. But these two individuals, along with us, will all be in the after party. I will post the link again right now in the after part. Hold on one second. I got to cut and paste something.
Jordy
And-
made $10. He's got chip and salsa.
So listen, next week we have Steph from Steph Diggs, I believe. If you haven't seen her channel, she does not just saying this, she does a fantastic job with her video skills, her research, and then she does a history section on a lot of the stuff that she finds. And I think it's brilliant, really. And so she'll be on next week. Come back and watch. And thank you very much for coming. Everybody good?
Some people.
No,
After
we're good.
party, follow the link
Join us.
that Jordy's gonna put. Follow
Yeah.
that link now. Click it.
All
Just
right.
follow the
We're-
instructions.
We're out in 5, 4, 3,
Bye, all.
2,
See ya.
and 1. Thank you, everybody. See you after
Bye.
party.
yeah.
Go.
Bye.